All right, welcome into another edition of That's Deep. I'm Tommy Z, joined as always by Johnny Bravo. Pretty solid week last week. I broke even on the sheet, but we did hit a couple live plays in those last two fights. We had what was it? The sub in 2-3-4. Was it? No. First round sub with Hamzat. Or
Oh
one
yeah,
and
that was a nice.
I think that was like 4-1. And then the knockout in 2-3-4 was like 4-1 for Taporia. So overall, pretty solid night. We've got a pretty decent card here. They are in Canada for this one. We got 14 fights on the card. We got Albazi taking on Moreno in the main event. Should be a good one. Johnny, your Dodgers are playing, so I'm sure you're going to be somewhat distracted. So we'll kind of try to roll through this one. But how you doing?
No,
How you
I'm locked
feeling?
in. I'm locked in. I got all my thoughts here. I got an eye on the game. We're good.
All right.
Yeah. So overall, last week, good card overall. I think. Money wise, I think I probably scraped a little bit, lost a little bit, scraped a little bit of profit.
Yeah.
Holloway at the end kind of hurt me. I did not bet that Taporia. So yeah. So
Yeah.
we move on. This is a
It
pretty.
was a good card. It was a fun card.
Yeah.
This card should be fun too, though. We got 14 fights. It's in Canada. We should get a pretty good crowd. Should be got some competitive fights. I'm on a handful of dogs, so I'm kind of curious to see what your thoughts are here. And with all that said, let's jump right into it with our first fight of the night. We've got a women's flyweight bout. We've got Jamie Lynn Horth taking on Ivana Petrovic, both relatively new to the UFC scene. Horth, she's got a little bit of size here, and I think a little bit of strength advantage. Petrovic, pretty good striking, solid overall game. What are your thoughts here?
My thoughts here is that I wouldn't lay minus 220 on Jamie Lynn Horth. I think she's below average. I don't think she's very good, but I guess she has some kind of skills. I think she could probably get the wrestling going here. Yeah, and Petrovic is a young fighter. She's got some decent hands. Overall, I don't know. I don't really like this fight at all. It would probably be dog or pass. Yeah, I don't really have much here.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the fight either. The money line is kind of out of control. I do think Horth probably is just going to be able to outmuscle her and win a decision, I would think. So if I'm betting this fight, I'm betting the overs. Maybe Horth by decision, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm not super high on either fighter. Lot of question marks, but I do think Horth is the stronger of the two. I think she probably wins the grappling, and if she's able to get the grappling going and control, that's probably going to be enough to get the job done. But yeah, this one is one you can very easily pass on, and you're going to be just fine. All right, our next fight is in the bantamweight division, I believe. Yes. We have Chad and Hellinger taking on Cody Gibson. Pretty fun fight, I think. And Hellinger's, he's not the most technical guy in the world, but he is a fun fighter. He's a tough out. Taking on Cody Gibson, who's got pretty good volume, solid overall game, pretty good, just usually all action. What are your thoughts here?
Did we skip a fight?
We may have. I'm just going
Jack
off the
Shore.
order.
Jack Shore.
I've got that one up later on the card.
Oh, okay. All right.
Believe,
yeah, this one is. Yeah, this is kind of a two average guys going at it. These are. Cody Gibson. He's a middle of the road guy. Up in age. Really no potential. Just another guy. Good striking, good wrestling. Decently well-rounded guy, but and then Chad Ellinger, he's kind of the same way. I don't really like this fight either. I don't like. It's crazy because I mean Cody Gibson probably should be the favorite, but he's like minus 200 right now, and that's
Yeah,
like, I
again,
mean,
it's tough.
Challenger, Ellinger, he's a fucking dog, man. He can stand there and make
Mhm.
it tough, and he's got the tools to kind of make this a greasy fight. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a split. Like I could see both guys getting maybe Allinger landing some takedowns and having some top control. Um, I don't know. This is a tricky one for me. I mean, I think I lean Gibson to win the fight, but at minus 200, I don't like the price. Maybe a Gibson in over 1.5 or a Gibson by decision because I don't see him finishing Chad. So
Yeah,
yeah, pick is
yeah,
going to be Gibson by decision.
yeah. I'm right there with you, man. Gibson over 1.5. I guess we'll see what that price comes back at. I mean, decision's probably live. Both guys relatively durable, and Hellinger is very durable. He's fought some tough guys. Yeah, I think this one's close. I do like Gibson. I think he's the side here, but you got to go with the overs to get a price that's worth betting in this one. So it's either going to be over 1.5 or by decision. We'll see what happens when what kind of prices we can get. But yeah, I like Gibson with the overs. We'll move right along here. The next fight is again in the bantamweight division. We have Siri City taking on Garrett Armfield. Another good competitive fight, I think. City, very good striking. Comes forward, he'll take some damage, but he never stops coming forward. Armfield has some pretty good power for the division. Solid overall game. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I was high on Sirius City. I mean, he looked good watching his tape going into contender, and then he kind of gets that like early stoppage wins. But they gave him the contract, and he had to rematch the guy, and he ended up losing like a close split decision.
Yep.
Which was a tough. I mean, I had City in that fight. I bet him in that fight, and I thought he had won the decision. But you know how these judges are; they can fucking, they'll screw you if they can. Yeah, I thought he won that fight. I think his striking is good. I think he can mix in grappling here because, I was high on Armfield. I mean, I like his striking. He's a pretty, decent early round fighter. Like in rounds 1 and 2, he can be really dangerous, but it's just that cardio sometimes the later the fight gets and guys put that pace on him and take him down and kind of wear on his gas tank, he leaves himself open later in the fights, So yeah, this is going to be City for me. I think City gets the job done. I think he's a more technical striker. I think he's going to be able to land pretty easily. Probably get takedowns and wear on the gas tank and just maybe even get a finish like in round like the later second or third. Yeah, I like City here.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I do think Armfield has some knockout equity early. We know City can get dropped, he can get hurt, but whenever we've seen him get hurt, he just continues to come forward. So really it all comes down to, is Armfield able to land clean? If he is, and maybe get him out of there early, but anything after the first round, I think it's going to be all City. I think he's going to push the pace. He is the better technical striker. And like we saw in that in his UFC debut, City really did come on strong, even after getting hurt early in that fight. I agree with you, man. I thought rounds 2 and 3, he put up pretty good volume. I thought he could get the job done. He was landing some pretty good shots. He was pressuring. And really, that's what he's going to have to do here to win this fight. I like him with the over 1.5 rounds. I think he pushes the pace, and that's Armfield. If Armfield had the
Armfield
cardio,
can catch him though, because Armfield
absolutely
does have clean boxing, and City leaves himself vulnerable and hittables, and Armfield can crack and has some pretty solid boxing. So that is kind of concerning that he catches him early and puts. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, round 1 I think is the danger zone. And Armfield can do it. He could clearly land big in the first round. But I do think as the fight goes along, City is the pressure and the pace is going to be a little bit too much. So yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a very close fight, very dangerous fight. But yeah, I like City. I think just he has to get deeper into the second round, and this would be his fight. But yeah, Armfield is more than live. And I just lost the screen here, so give me a second. There we go. Our next fight is a bit of an ugly one. We've got Alexander Romanov, who just seems to get fatter with every fight, taking on Rodrigo Nascimento, who's solid, pretty skilled, but he's got a lot of holes himself. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is a sloppy heavyweight fight. I mean, we know Romanov, guy came in crushing cans, looking like a world beater, and then all of a sudden he fights who was it? Volkov? Was it or in Utah?
Volkov.
Fucking,
yeah, I believe Volkov.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
In Utah, yeah.
Sure
and he came in, he was out of shape, and he just totally gassed within 2 minutes. I don't trust his cardio. How seriously is he taking this? This is one I got to see on the scales with him. I mean, the last fight he fooled me, and he actually went 3 rounds. Oh no, he got subbed by Almeida, right? Yeah, but subbed by Almeida. But
he got subbed in the yeah. He went 3 rounds the fight before and got subbed in the last fight.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going to want to try to get this to the ground, and I mean, if he can get it to the ground early, he's always dangerous in that first couple of minutes. If he, I don't know. So the fight's a pick 'em. Nascimento, right? Yeah. I mean, this guy is just I mean, I don't know. He's just a middling heavyweight. I mean, he has good power in his hands. I mean, I guess maybe he can prevent the takedown, stuff some takedowns, and he has the better boxing. He could easily starch Romanov. I think. I don't rate Romanov on the feet very high. Yeah, I don't know. This is a tricky one. This is like, do you think Romanov's going to be able to get him down and finish him early, or is Nascimento going to be able to kind of keep it at range and kind of maybe wear on the gas tank a little bit? Maybe he gets some wrestling going and kind of wears on that tank. But I don't know. This is a tough one. And I wouldn't be surprised if this would be like a sloppy 3-round fight where it's just 2 gas bags that just fucking roll around for 15 minutes to a decision. That wouldn't surprise me at all, because I don't think Nascimento's cardio is very good either.
It's not great. No.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna lean Romanov gets it done here, but this is with no confidence. Yeah.
So basically, I wrote down in my notes, I'm on Nascimento just because I just feel like Romanov just continues to become more and more out of shape. But like I said on the live show last week, I'm going to start betting these guys that I think might be on the juice. And if Romanov comes in and he looks like he's in phenomenal shape, USADA's gone. USADA's out of the way. If he looks kind of like the old Romanov, I'll probably be on him, under 1.5 rounds. Come in, get the takedowns early, put him away. But if he looks like he looked on the scales the last couple fights where it just seems like he's almost checked out and he's just here for a paycheck, I'll be on Nascimento. So it's all going to come down to Friday morning, what this guy looks like on the scales. And as of right now, my official pick is Nascimento. But yeah, if Romanov comes in looking good, at least in shape, I'll probably be on the Romanov side.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. You got to see the scales on this one. If this guy comes in looking like just like he wasn't training or didn't even care, just rolling off the couch, then I mean, yeah, you got to fade him because he probably only has 90 seconds.
Right, and he'll still be dangerous in that beginning moments, but
yeah.
I mean, he's looked rough in some of these fights. So,
yeah,
but yeah, so we'll see what Friday morning looks like. But as of right now, Nascimento is the play, and that could change with Romanov coming in looking good. All right, our next fight is in the featherweight division. We have Jack Shore taking on Yusuf Zalal. Zalal's a guy I was always high on in his first run in the UFC. He was very young, had some disappointing outings. Left the UFC, got on a nice roll. He's come back. He's won 2 in a row. Looks good. Taking on Jack Shore, who was a bantamweight for a while. He's moved up. The last few fights have been at featherweight. Solid, well-rounded game. Weird ending to his last fight with that shin contusion, cut, whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think this is a good fight, fun fight. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, that's a good one. I like. I mean, Jack Shore. I was high on this guy, until the Ricky Simone fight. That I was on him in that fight, and he just absolutely got smashed, which was pretty crazy. Wasn't expecting that. I thought the kid was going to be good. He's got good grappling, good wrestling, good jujitsu, sneaky subs. Decent on the feet. But yeah, where he wants to get this going, he wants to get it going in the grappling. He wants to get on top or get the back and control and maybe look for a sub. And Zalal, the guy since coming back, he's just been well rounded. He's just been fighting good fights, solid. He's pretty much good everywhere. He left when he left, he made some adjustments and improved his game. Kind of just a technical guy on the feet and just good everywhere. Yeah, the pick's got to be Zalal here because I don't know. I'm just not. Jack Shore's just disappointed me, and I don't know how high I can be on him. I could see this being like a 29-28 though, because maybe Shore gets around here. But yeah, it's going to be Zalal here, probably Zalal decision, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I feel like Shore needs to be. His submission game is very overall is a very good striker. And like I said, his first run in the UFC, he was young. He was early 20s. I think he's 27 now, coming into his prime. And yeah, I've always been high on Zalal, and I think when he's on his game, which he seems to be on his game right now, he's a tough out for anybody. And while I do think Jack Shore is very good, and this is a tough fight for sure, this is competitive. Jack Shore is definitely live. I just think Zalal's ahead of him on the feet. He's more dangerous in the submission game, and I just think overall he's the better fighter here. Again, I think it's going to go long. Zalal's submission game is very dangerous. If he gets your back, he's a problem. But I think Zalal gets it done. I do think it goes pretty late in the fight though. So I've got to side with Zalal. I'm not exactly sure how I want to bet it, but I definitely think he is the side. And
well, I think he's the money line. Money line should be a good parlay piece.
Parlay piece for sure. Parlay piece for sure.
Maybe the over 1.5 is probably going to be like minus 200 with him.
Yeah. So, see, that's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I could see him winning a decision, but I could also see him getting the neck. We've seen Shore submitted twice.
Well, at that point, then you just bet the fight doesn't go. It's minus 350 to the over 2.5. So.
Oh, well, okay. So there you go. I could sprinkle on the under there. So that might be in play. But yeah, it's tough. Jack Shore's he's tough out. He's very good. Pretty good size for a guy that's coming up from.
I could see him easily getting around, getting on top, and just laying kind of like just.
Yeah, his wrestling's good. He's overall. He's a good fighter for sure. I'm with you on that.
This also might be a good live betting spot because if Jack Shore comes out and gets a takedown early and maybe wins that first round, you probably get a pick him of the fight.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
So, as always, we'll be live for that. So we'll be We'll be looking at it. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's a fun fight. It's a good fight. Definitely a lot of ways to attack it. We'll see as the week goes on, and as the fights play out. But yeah, I think it's a good one. I do like Zalal though. If nothing else, as a parlay piece. We'll move on here. Another good competitive fight. We've got Charles Jourdain taking on Victor Henry. This is a bantamweight fight. This is, I believe, the first time Jourdain has fought at bantamweight. He's been kind of middling in the featherweight division. He's very good, talented, good striking. Grappling's pretty solid. But he's just been, hit or miss. He's had a couple tough fights in a row, a couple tough guys, very tough guys. Gene Silva got him out of there in the last fight, but Gene Silva just seems like a guy who's an absolute killer. Taking on Victor Henry, who's, high volume type guy, high pace type guy, veteran of the sport, 30 fights. Good matchup, fun matchup, I think. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I could never seem to get a Jourdain fight right. Like,
It's
this
tough.
guy's just seemed it's tough. Like, I'll bet this guy and then he'll look like shit, and I'll fade him and he'll look fucking good. He's hit or miss, like you said. I mean, he's pretty well rounded. I mean, he's got good everywhere. I mean, good striking, good wrestling, pretty good everywhere, but he's like flaky. You don't know what you're gonna get from this guy. And then now you're at this stage in your career and you're dropping down in weight. Like, that is something that, like, I mean, okay. But yeah, and then Victor Henry, I mean, this guy's he's a pace machine. He's going to put the pressure on. He's going to put the volume on you. He's going to keep walking forward. He's well-rounded guy. We haven't seen him since his ball bag got exploded by but from the guy that fought last week. What's his name? Basharat, bro. Yeah. Kicked him in the nuts. Probably a terrible nut shot. And then brutal. I think the ref called it as a knockout win. Like, they didn't stop the fight or nothing. Like, yeah.
Wasn't that the one where the doctor was like, that was a real, like, he didn't get hit in the nuts or something like that.
Yeah. The referee said, no, keep fighting. Yeah, or some shit. I thought. Yeah.
Just so stupid.
So, yeah. I mean, yeah, so right here, I can't trust Jourdain with my money anymore. I just can't do it. I can't put myself through that torture. I think Henry's going to be able to walk forward, put the volume on him. Because Jourdain's volume isn't, that great, I mean, he had that one breakout round against, that's in the Burgos, where he landed like a bunch of strikes and almost 1080 them. Yeah, I think Henry's going to be able to just walk forward, throw volume, put the pace on him, and just probably win a decision here.
This is another one. I want to see what Jourdain looks like on the scale, because I'm kind of with you. Like, it feels like, generally speaking, when guys move down later in their career, it doesn't generally go well, even if it's only the first fight. The first fight in the division doesn't go well. But Jourdain's he's not old. I think he's only like 28 years old, which I was kind of shocked because he's been around for a while. So maybe a solid time for him to move down. But yeah, I'm curious to see what he looks like. If he makes the weight pretty clean, I'm going to lean him just a little bit, because I do think he is overall, I do think he's the better fighter. But if he struggles, I think Henry's going to have to be the side, because Henry's going to push the pace. I think the cardio will be in favor of Henry. Right now, I'm kind of on the fence with this one. I guess I'm leaning Jourdain, but we'll see what he looks like on the scales. And
I could definitely see a split here, though.
Yeah, Canadian. These are two guys that are tough. And that's the other thing. Like, if Jourdain makes the weight well, his durability should hold up.
We are in Canada, and Jourdain is a Canadian.
That's true, too. So. Yeah, that's something to
I could see this being a close fight, and I could see it like, we thought we won, and we got fucking robbed here.
Yep.
I could see this one.
That's definitely live. So, yeah, I guess we're kind of on we're kind of split on this one, but I kind of want to see what weigh-ins look like. Good fight, competitive fight. Looking forward to it. But yeah, if Jourdain has a tough time making the weight, I'll definitely be on the Henry side on this one. All right, our next fight is in the women's flyweight division. We have Ariane De Silva taking on Jasmine Jastovicius. Jastovicius has, she's been on a nice little run here lately. De Silva, she's also, she's looked good too. This is an interesting fight here. De Silva, I would say, is the better striker, but Jasmine has shown her grappling to be strong. She can get top position here. That's probably going to be her path. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I kind of like both of these girls here. Ariana Lipsky, my girl, the queen of violence, was high on her. She looked good, and then girls would kind of exploit her takedown defense. But it seems like in the last few fights that she's been able to work on her takedown defense and kind of you could tell she's been working on it. Yeah, and on the feet, she's pretty good. She could get takedowns too. She's got good grappling. She's a pretty decently well-rounded fighter now. I think she's worked real hard on her takedown defense and that aspect of her game, and she's really improved. And Jasmine, what you're gonna get? She's great wrestling, gonna be able to get her takedowns going. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe here, unless she should be able to get. I think she should be able to get Lipsky down, but Lipsky's made some real improvements. Which if this fight is on the feet, it could be really close because. I could see Lipsky easily running away if she can stuff takedowns here because Jasmine on the feet is terrible on the feet. The striking is a little less, to be dessert, to fucking but if Jasmine can get takedowns, she's going to be able. She'll look like a minus 600 favorite, 700 favorite because she's just going to be able to just probably maul her on the ground. So, this is a tough one. This is another tough one for me because I kind of like both girls, and it's a rough one. I'm gonna lean Jasmine here, but I don't know. I gotta think about it more. But yeah, probably Jasmine by decision, or maybe she can get a ground and pound because in her last fight, she was landing some. How that fight didn't get stopped. It was mind blowing. I think I had KO 1 or 2 or something like that in that fight. And like 12-1, and they didn't stop that fight, and I was just and it was just terrible. And she ends up finishing her in the third, I think, or something. Which was
that was that stretch where we had so many fights that we should have had finishes in, and either that went later than we should have, or it just went to decision. Like that, that was a
rough one. So yeah, I could see Jasmine getting on top and landing some damage because Lipsky is kind of the fish out of the water on her back. So yeah, I'm going to lean Jasmine here to get the takedowns and probably land some damage and have some decent control. But on the feet, I think Lipsky is levels above on the feet. So
I agree with you. I think Jasmine wins this one based on getting the fight to the ground. I will say though, Jasmine's striking is not good, but what she is good at is she's willing to take a punch and move forward. And she'll just keep throwing. Her striking's ugly, but she will stay forward. She will keep the pressure on. And again, another Canadian fighter. So if she is pushing forward and she is, even if she's eating some damage, she's going to land some. She's going to land enough to where she can win a decision. But I think it's going to be one in the grappling. I think it's going to be one on the ground. And I like Jasmine here. I'm actually pretty high on her. I will have her in my DraftKings lineup because I do expect her to grapple, have a good amount of control time, hopefully land some ground and pound, potentially get a finish. But yeah, Jasmine's the play for me here. All right, our next fight is another pretty fun one here. We've got In the bantamweight division, we got Ayman Zahabi taking on Pedro Munoz. Munoz, you look at his record, it's not been good lately. He's mixed a couple wins in with a bunch of losses and no contests, but he's fighting a lot of the best. So that will happen. Zahabi, very good striker. He's shown pretty good takedown defense in his last couple fights. Yeah, this is a good one. I'm really curious to see what you have to say about this one. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Munoz, the old vet. I mean, pretty much has fought everybody. I mean, decent striking, pretty durable guy. Durable guy, hard to put away. Good leg kicks. I mean, he's a decent guy, but I don't know. He's another guy. It's like where you trust him, and then it's like you think he'll have a good performance, and he just doesn't really show up. And he's a guy that fights always close, always in close fights. It always seems like it. They're always like close, greasy fights. You know what I mean? Every single fight, it's like either it's like 1-1 going into the third, and it's either he sneaks out that third or like you lose the fight. I mean, and hasn't been on a good run, like you said. And Zahabi, he's hot. I mean, the guy looks, pretty solid. He's another one of these technical guys, kickboxer guys who's well rounded, and he's looked pretty good. He's looked really good in his last few fights. Yeah, and I'm gonna go with Zahabi here. I think he's the more technical guy. He's the younger guy. He's the more up and coming guy. I think he'll be able to. I mean, even though Munoz can make it close, land some leg kicks, decent striking, make it to maybe 1-1 going into the third. But I think Zahabi probably just pulls away and wins that third round and probably wins a decision. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I do think it's competitive. Munoz, tough out. He's extremely durable. I don't think he's ever been finished. So getting him out of there is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But Zahabi does have a lot of power. Munoz has been the thing I didn't like. Well, the one thing I didn't like about Munoz coming into this is he took a lot of damage in his last two fights. Cheeto put it on him pretty good in the second and third round, had him busted open. Kyler Phillips put it on him pretty good, had him busted open in that fight. It's a lot of damage. These guys are around the same age, but in terms of damage taken over the career, Munoz has taken a lot compared to what Zahabi has. And again, you're looking at a pretty close fight, guy on volume.
Munoz seems like he would be way older here too. Like,
yeah, that's another thing I thought. Like, I thought Munoz. I mean, he is older. They're both, they're both up there. But like fight years wise, it just feels like Munoz is in his 40s. Honestly, I mean, he's fought the best of the best, and a lot of times when you do that, you take a lot of damage. It is what it is. He's a very good fighter. And again, I think, volume-wise, they're going to be pretty close. We're in Canada. Zahabi lives in Canada. He's from Montreal. So, again, if you're looking at a tough, close decision, you kind of have to lean towards the hometown guy. I think Zahabi's got the power to actually hurt Munoz and potentially be the first guy to stop him, but I expect a 3-round war. I expect it to be a good, close fight. But I've got to lean Zahabi here. I think he gets it done. Just close fight, competitive. And if that scar tissue for Munoz opens up a little bit, makes it look better for Zahabi. Zahabi decision, probably the way. And that brings us to another Canadian fighter. We have Mike Malott taking on Trevin Giles in the welterweight division. And Giles is a guy who drives me crazy because he is extremely talented. He's burned me in a couple spots when betting against him, and also betting on him. Taking on Mike Malott, who looked like the next big thing. He came in, he was kind of just running through guys. Ran into Neil Magny, completely ragdolled Neil Magny for 2 rounds and was cooked. And Neil Magny was the savvy vet and got him out of there. So, we'll see. How can Malott bounce back? What does Trevin Giles look like? What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Malott pretty much, I mean, the guy is pretty much a front-loaded guy. I mean, he's got all the talent within that first, 7 minutes, and then he's just a total, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. This guy is just he's a killer in that first 7 minutes, and then he just falls off a cliff. Cardio's not good. He's a front-loaded guy. I mean, Neil Magny really exposed that. I mean, he beat Neil Magny down for those first 2 rounds, and then he just had nothing left in the third. And just totally just got smashed. But he did take some time off. And I don't know, maybe he's made some improvements on his cardio, but maybe that's just something that he can't fix, I mean, he's good in that first 7 minutes, but after that, and Trevin Giles, I mean, he's winning the fight most of the time until he's not. I mean, he's a pretty well-rounded guy. He was beating Prates in that fight until he absolutely just got deaded. But Prates might just be one of those guys, But I mean, we've seen Trevin Giles flake before. We've seen him; he's flaked before, where he's looking good, and then all of a sudden, boom! You think you're winning your bet, and he's fucking dead. So I don't know. I think this is probably a showcase fight from a lot. I mean, maybe he's in Canada, so I don't know. I think he probably smashes him and gets him out probably in round 1 or 2. But if not, I would probably if this gets into round 2, I would probably look for a live bet on Giles. Probably bet Malott early, and if he survives that first round, then probably getting on Giles later in the fight. Yep. So yeah, that's probably going to be my style of attacking this. Probably Malott maybe 1 or Malott under 1.5, and then try to, get on Giles live if I could at a good number.
Yeah, I mean, if Malott looks like he has looked in the first round of basically all of his fights, you could get a monster number on Giles. And obviously the books know
books are going to know
these guys are about, but you're still probably going to get a good number. I mean, Malott's a pretty good favorite here already, so a dominant first round, you're going to get a decent price. Yeah, I agree. I think it's Malott first, half of the fight, and Giles is very live late. And again, Giles is another guy though. We've seen him come in and not look great. He's coming out of shape to a couple fights, and you never really know what you're going to get with him. But we'll know pretty early what kind of fight shape he's in too. So definitely live opportunity here. Malott is the pick for me officially. I do think he gets it done. But yeah, Giles is definitely live later on in this fight. And that we're going to continue the run on Canadian fighters here. We've got Marc-Andre Barriault taking on Dustin Stoltzfus in a middleweight bout. Barriault, the power bar is his nickname. The guy just keeps coming forward and basically kill or be killed type style. Stoltzfus he's actually a decent fighter. He's well-rounded, but, chin can be an issue. He's been finished a bunch. Obviously, Barriault being the Canadian fighter here, this is kind of set up for him to win. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think Barriault's pretty good. I mean, he's the cardio, the power bar, like you said, his nickname. So he's going to be there for 3 rounds. He's got 3 rounds of cardio. He's got good striking, nice boxing on his feet. I mean, he's going to want to keep this on the feet and strike. He's not really a grappler. So yeah, I think this is probably going to be a striking affair. I don't see Stoltzfus landing takedowns. I don't know how good Stoltzfus. This is a sneaky guy that can slide up on you every once in a while, but he's not good. He's not very good. He can put out a performance if the other guy's not on their game, and he can win a fight. But this guy, I don't think he's that guy. I like Andre Barriault. I think he's the more technical striker, more power in his hands, better cardio. What is concerning though, he did get starched by Joe Piper. That chin that durability is being been questioned. I mean, that was a bad knockout, and he's coming back pretty quick too. So
Yeah,
that's
but
kind of concerning.
so is Stoltzfus, though. Stoltzfus was coming off a bad knockout too. So
Yeah. So yeah, well, Stoltz has been starched many times before, so
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so yeah, I don't know. This is probably Marc-Andre Barrial, maybe Barrial KO 2 or 3. I could see him knocking him out late, putting him away.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably a KO Barrial. I'll probably be on like a Barrial KO 2 or 3.
yep.
Yeah, I think he gets it done here. Probably knocks him out.
That's what I'm thinking too. I mean, Stoltzfus, like I said, he's talented. He can sneak up on you. But yeah, I think Barriel, the volume, especially in later in the round, rounds 2 and 3, I think it just the chin of Stoltzfus is not, is not great. And while Barriel is coming off that knockout, like you said, both guys are. I don't think Stoltzfus really has a ton of power to be a big threat. Joe Pyfer, we know Joe Pyfer can hit hard. And obviously you take a bad knockout and the next time you get hit, you can go down. But overall, from what I've seen from these two, give me the durability of Barrial over Stoltzfus all day. And as the fight goes along, Stoltzfus puts the volume on, probably gets him out of there. I would be shocked if this fight went 3 rounds. I think Barrial gets him out of there second or third round. Which brings us to our next fight, which is a bit of a slot fest here. We've got Kyle Machado taking on Bretson Ribeiro. Machado has been fighting at heavyweight, moving down to light heavyweight. Robero, heavy hitter, pretty fast. Cardio-wise, neither one of these guys is great. I guess it'll be interesting to see what Machado looks like at 205. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Brenton Robero, I mean, he's pretty much got 5 minutes of cardio. He's got good power, good striking on the feet for about 5 minutes. And then after that, he just completely gasses. I mean, he was looking good early in his last fight against old boy. I forgot his name.
It was like Abadul.
Yeah, Abazulugov or something. Abazulugov or something. Yeah. I mean, he looked good in round 1 and then just completely like gassed and just lost the fight. It was a terrible fight. And I don't know, these guys are both not very good. I mean, I don't think Machado's very good. I mean, he lost to Dontel Mays. So when you're losing to Dontel Mays, I mean, that's who you how good are you,
Right.
So yeah, now he's dropping down. What is he going to look like on the scales? How is that going to affect his cardio? Dropping down from heavyweight, is he going to have a gas tank? I don't know. This could be another slot fest here where we can see where you think it's going to end, and then all of a sudden it goes to decision, and it's just a sloppy, ugly fight, or both. Yeah. So that's what we seem to be seeing a lot nowadays. It's just 3-round decisions. So I don't know. I really don't know who to pick here. I think I'm going to say Robero KO round 1. I think he catches him early. The weight cut affects the chin, and I think the wild man catches him and puts him away. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Robero, the dog in this spot. Give me the dog. I think both guys suck. I think Robero is way faster. And Machado's dropping down from like his last fight. He weighed in at like 248. So I don't think this is
Robero too.
I don't think this is going to be like an easy, like, oh yeah, I've been fighting at heavyweight, but I'm really a light heavyweight type guy. Like, this dude's coming down he's a pretty good sized guy. So the weight cut's going to be interesting here. But yeah, I think both guys after the first round are going to be cooked. I think Ribero's faster. I think he's got the better power. And yeah, at this weight class, I just think he's probably going to hold up a little bit better. So give me the dog here. I'll take the dog shot and That's it. I mean, I would never bet the favorite in this fight, regardless. So this is a dog or pass spot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah, give me Robero on this one. All right, it brings us to our next fight. Our always favorite Derek Lewis taking on Janana Denise. Heavyweight bout. Derek Lewis, the dog here, which to me is kind of interesting. Denise got wobbled by that Williams dude who looks to wrestle nonstop. Uh, to me, give me Derek Lewis at dog money. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Like, I mean, what are we gonna get with Derek Lewis? I mean, fan favorite, the knockout king. I mean, love Derek Lewis as a personality and just overall, in the MMA game. Just great fighter. But is he washed? Does he still have it? Does he still have something left in the tank? Like, he's always there to crack you. I mean, he's got the power to put you out, but I mean, how committed is he? How much does he really want it?
Yeah,
His motivation, that's the big thing. I mean, he went on his little run, and Derek Lewis is the front runner. I think if it's going good for him, then he's looking good, then he can put you away. But if the other guy shows some resistance and kind of cracks him a couple times, and he can look for a way out. Yeah, I don't know nowadays what I'm going to get with Derek Lewis. But I mean, Denise, I mean, a good technical kickboxer. I mean, uh, the last fight, I was on Williams, and I mean, the clear game plan for Williams would have been to take him down, and I guess he decided he wanted to strike with the kickboxer when he has no striking. So I mean, Denise dominated him until the third round when Williams actually wanted to go for a takedown, which he easily got. But I don't know. I mean, can Derek Lewis land takedowns?
I mean,
Probably if he really wanted to, he probably could. But is he? I don't know. Maybe. But on the feet, I think it's Denise probably all day. But I mean, Derek Lewis at dog money. I mean, he can always land that one shot. But I'm gonna. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna have to pick Denise here to go against the Black Beast. I mean, I love Derek Lewis. I'm a Derek Lewis fan, but I don't know what. I mean, I don't know what he's got left, man. I mean, he finished Nascimento in the last fight. I mean, he looked good, but I don't know.
yeah. So, but to me, like, if Lewis doesn't come out explosive and Denise starts landing leg kicks, that's going to be a problem. That's probably where Lewis falls off a cliff. But yeah, I just think if Derek Lewis explodes for a couple combinations, which generally speaking he does, I think he gets this dude out of here. I mean, first round against Williams, I can't remember the dude's first name, but against Williams, Williams cracked him. Carl Williams cracked the knees with a left hand, and I saw that and I said, all right, if Derek Lewis hits him, the fight's over right there. To me, this feels like when Chris Dawkins was kind of on a run, and then they fed him to Derek Lewis, and Derek Lewis just ran through him. Lewis to me is a guy who he fights the Cyril Gans of the world. He fights the Tai Tuivasa when Tai Tuivasa was who he was and could take the big shots. Those are the type of guys that can weather the storm and or in the case of Cyril Gane can just outpoint him and just piece him up and just be overall better. But even like the Pavlovich fight, like Pavlovich is a guy that's just coming and can clean his clock. I don't think Denise is that guy. I really don't. I think Derek Lewis hits him a couple times and he folds this guy. And I think that the Black Beast roars again in this spot. I don't think this guy can handle a couple good shots from Derek Lewis. But like I said, if he doesn't come out explosive and Denise gets the leg kicks going, then that's a problem. But right now, give me dog money on Derek Lewis. I think he puts this guy away.
mean, he's the knockout king, so he's always could catch him, But
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna bet Derek Lewis by KO too. I think it was like
but you're
plus
not going to get it
310.
much. You're not going to get
Yeah,
a
I
much
saw it
better
at like
number, I don't
plus
think.
310
Oh,
the
here I
last
go.
time I looked.
I got it. Plus 215.
Okay, so it dropped a decent amount from what
You
I
get
saw.
money lines plus
But
150
still,
at
I
that
mean,
point.
you're still 2-1 with the KO. I mean, that's basically his win equity, I think. So I'll bet the KO regardless.
Yeah.
And if he wins a boring decision, then that sucks. But
What if he wrestles and just lays on top of him?
but even if he does, though, like when he is on top of guys and he lands
Yeah, then
punches,
Denise is a fish out of water on the ground.
yeah.
So
It's like the Ngannou fight 2 weeks ago. Ngannou lands those
yeah,
ground and pound shots, and it's dead. It's over.
yeah.
So Derek Lewis kind of in the same boat. I
don't
don't
know.
expect Derek.
I just don't know how much Derek Lewis has left in the tank. I don't know.
Yeah, I
If
agree,
he's not,
man.
and if it
I
doesn't
hear
go
you
his way early, he can check out and just,
for sure. But
And
I
I
think
think Denise. I think you're not giving Denise enough credit.
I maybe I'm not, but
I
just
think he's
don't
a
think.
good technical kickboxer, and if this is on the feet, he's going to be able to just pretty much just piece him up on the feet. I think.
I mean, yeah, he could, and he could land the leg kicks.
But
But I
Derek Lewis is always liable to land that one, just
that's
put
what I'm
you out.
saying. I just don't think he can handle it if Derek Lewis lands the big shot. I think Lewis just folds him, and that's just a wrap. Derek Lewis has lost to the best of the best. He's still a problem. He really is. He's never going to win a championship. He's just not that guy. But against these guys that are not top 5 fighters,
Yeah,
and I don't think Denise is a top 5 fighter ever. He'll never get to the top 5. Yeah, I think Lewis just runs through these guys. But I could be wrong. But you're giving me dog money here. Plus 155 on the money line, plus 200 on the KO. I'll take Derek Lewis every day. But we move on. We have a very good fight here. Women's flyweight bout. This is a 5-round fight. We've got Erin Blanchfield taking on Rose Namajunas. Rose is she's always been there, man. She's been at the top of the division the entire time the division has existed. On a nice little streak here. She's got a couple wins in a row. Taking on Erin Blanchfield, who looks like the real deal. She's got good grappling. She's on a nice little run herself. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I love Rose. I mean, she's a great fighter. I mean, she's paid me out many times. I mean, she's good. I mean, good striking, but sometimes she just doesn't like throw her hands, and she's kind of just staring at you, like kind of like in the Esparza fight. I don't know. It seems recently her volume has gotten lower and lower. Her output, has gotten lower. I mean, the striking is just it's legit. I mean, crisp on the feet, but sometimes her volume recently she's been real low volume, but she has been working on her wrestling lately, which is pretty impressive to me. I mean, she's been going to that grappling a lot and using it to win rounds and bank rounds, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And Blanchfield. I mean, like on the feet. I mean, I guess she's okay, but I mean, man, on last fight, I mean, just pretty much just schooled her and took her to
Yeah.
school. Which is concerning. Is Blanchfield going to be able to get her game going? Is she going to be able to land takedowns and get the BJJ going and try to get kind of put Rose in some dangerous spots? I mean, on the ground, I think she definitely can if she can get it there. But that's the real question: can she take Rose down, who's looked really improved in her grappling recently?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a close one. I mean, if Rose can stop takedowns, I definitely think on the feet she's going to look like minus 500 favorite probably on the feet. But I mean, I could see Blanchfield getting takedowns, and I could see Blanchfield smashing her and finishing her. catching a sub or head and arm or guillotine or take the back and get a rear naked or something. So I don't know. I thought about this one all week, and I'm not sure where I'm at here yet. As of now, I'm going to lean with the wrestling of Blanchfield that maybe she can get the takedowns going. And, I definitely think she's a way better I think her takedowns are way better than Tracy Cortez. So I think she's going to be able to maybe land some takedowns here and have some position. But I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I'm going to lean Blanchfield, but I don't know. I could see Rose winning this fight if she can stuff. If she stuffs takedowns, she's going to look like she's going to piece her up on the feet and win easily. So I don't know. It's all if Blanchfield can get that takedown.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm leaning Rose for that reason, because I do think Rose can stuff the takedowns, and I think she can wrestle offensively herself. I mean, overall, I think she's got a very well-rounded game. She's very good. Her striking's good. She can be taken down and she can be controlled, but I don't know. I've got some questions with Blanchfield. I'm not fully sold. I know she's good. And I know Rose there's just been certain fights where you just question everything that.
Yeah.
The Esparza fight, it always goes back to the Esparza fight, where that was just an unbelievable game plan. She's looked pretty good since then, and you kind of haven't seen that type of fight out of her, but you never know. But I don't know. I think big fight spots for Rose, she's been there, done that.
5 rounds too, which is big. I think.
She's got the experience. She is a champion. I'm going to better fighter.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go Rose too, because I mean, but if Blanchfield gets that takedown, then it's a wrap, I think. Or maybe Rose can survive and scramble.
I mean, we saw the Wei Li fight. Like, to me, Wei Li's a better wrestler than Blanchfield, more dangerous than Blanchfield. And that was a great fight. Another 5-round battle for Rose. I don't know. I just think Rose has fought the better.
I think the experience too and everything. I think Rose is going to probably be able to keep it on the feet and piece her up and I think I'm going to go with Rose here by decision probably.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm leaning. I just think Rose is just.
I just talked myself into Rose. I was leaning Blanchfield, but then my whole little thing, I'm like, you know what? No, I convinced myself to go with Rose.
Yeah. And I'm right there with you. So let's ride with that. So with that said, we get to our main event here. We've got the return of Brandon Moreno. He's been off almost a whole year since I think February was his last fight. Taking on Amir Albazi. Last time we saw Albazi was a split decision controversial win over Kai Kara France. Albazi's another one of those guys that just looks to wrestle and take you down and beat you up on the ground. Brandon Moreno, been there, done that. Fought the best of the best, is the best of the best. Coming off of 2 split decision losses to the champ and Brandon Royval, who's right there, top 3 in the division. It's hard for me to go against Moreno. I'm a big fan of him. Not such a big fan of Albazi. I don't like his style. I do think it's a close fight because Albazi is tough and his wrestling is a problem. I got to roll with Moreno here, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Albazi, pretty much, low volume on the feet, doesn't throw a lot. He's going to want to get his takedowns and get his wrestling going and pretty much just lay on top of you and do pretty much nothing. Maybe attack a sub here and there, but I don't see him being able to sub Moreno. This is, oh my God, he missed it. This is going to be whether if Albazi can, I don't think Albazi is going to be able to take Moreno down and hold him down for 5 rounds. I think this is going to be probably Moreno's, volume on the feet is going to be able to just his striking. He's a warrior. Durable guy. I mean, good all around guy. But the question is, he looked terrible in his last fight against Royval. Just looked bad. Like he didn't want to be in there. I mean, he's answered some questions here during media week. He said, maybe I'm a pussy. I needed a break. I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe he comes back here refreshed. I mean, I think if his mind is in it and he wants to be in there, I think he can easily win this fight. But if he's not all there, and Albazi is going to be able to just grapple him and wrestle him, But yeah, I think Moreno right here is going to be the better guy. I mean, better guy on the feet. He's going to be landing the more volume. He's going to be pushing the pace. Yeah, he's just going to have to just stay away from those takedowns, and he wins this running away. I think this is probably a discount. I think this is probably a discount on Moreno, because if Moreno. And I don't think Albazi won that fight against Kai France. I thought I was robbed in that fight.
I actually bet on him in that fight, but I had long thought I lost in the bet.
I was on Kai Kara, and I thought I was cruising, and then I got robbed.
The like rounds 4 and 5, I was sitting there going, I knew it was Kai Kara the whole time. I knew it was Kai Kara. I was so pissed.
Yeah,
and then Albazi won,
somehow.
Like, all right.
Guy doesn't throw a fucking punch and he wins.
Yeah.
So.
But
I'm gonna go with.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna go with Moreno here to get the job done. Yeah, I can see him putting it on him here.
Yeah, I truly believe there was a lot of burnout with Moreno in that last fight. Because you got to go go back to 2020.
You go through that war with Pantoja, and then you go through those 4 fights with Figgy, and then you have that sick war with Pantoja, and then now you got to fight Brandon Royval. It's kind of like you're just like, I got to fight
literally
this guy.
Going back to he fought Royval, he fought 4 times against Figgy, and then he fought Royval again when Royval was at the top of his skill. Pantoja at the top of his game, all those guys in a 4-year stretch where it was just, and these are, most of those fights were 5-round fights. Most of those fights, all of those fights were competitive. I think there was a lot of burnout with Moreno. He's getting a new opponent here. I think he's the better guy overall. You go back strength of schedule, the guys that Albazi's beat, Moreno's beat them better. Now, MMA math, doesn't always work that way, but I just think Moreno's the better fighter. And I think if he's healthy and he feels good and he feels refreshed, he's had about 7-8 months off. I think Moreno runs through him, and I shouldn't say runs through him, but he should control the good majority of this fight and make it a pretty decisive victory. So give me Moreno in this one, and that'll do it. That'll do it for this card. So again, Nuke the House has been crushing. It's been great. NBA's back, NHL's back. The guys have been crushing both of those sports. NFL has been absolutely money. So if you're not a member of Nuke the House, sign up. $59.99 a month. It's the best value you're going to find anywhere. We'll be live all weekend. We've got MMA, college football, NFL, NASCAR playoffs, NBA and hockey also going to be going. So, sign up, tune in to the live shows, and, make some money with us. Johnny, I know you got your eye on the game here. You got any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, good luck with all your bets. And we'll see you guys this weekend. You know where to find me. So
all right. With that said, as always, good luck this weekend, and we will see you on the live shows.
Laters.